discovery and rescue. The desolate planet of Xerxes II hung like a bruised orb against the inky blackness of space, its atmosphere swirling with toxic storms that had raged for millennia. It was a world forgotten by most, a casualty of the Great Galactic War that had torn the cosmos asunder nearly a century ago. But on this day, Xerxes II would become the stage for an encounter that would change the course of history. Captain Leah Chen stood on the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of the planet below. The Horizon was a state-of-the-art research vessel designed to push the boundaries of human knowledge in the aftermath of the war. Leah had handpicked her crew for their expertise, courage, and unwavering commitment to the ideals of exploration and discovery. Captain, with picking up an anomalous reading from the surface, reported Lieutenant Zara Okoye, her fingers dancing across the sensor array. It's faint, but there's definitely something down there emitting a bioelectric signature. Leah's brow furrowed. Life on Xerxes II? That's impossible. The atmosphere is pure poison. I'm running it through the filters now, Zara replied, her voice tinged with excitement. Whatever it is, it's big, and it's dying. The captain's mind raced. The Horizon's mission was one of peaceful exploration, but they were also bound by the Galactic Accords to investigate any signs of sapient life in distress. Dr. Ilara, she called out to the ship's xenobiologist, what's your assessment? Dr. Naya Ilara, a lanky woman with a perpetual look of curiosity etched on her face, joined them at the display. She studied the readouts for a long moment before speaking. Fascinating. The bioelectric signature suggests a highly evolved nervous system, possibly even sentience. But the decay rate, whatever's down there won't last long without intervention. Leah weighed her options. The risks of sending a team to the surface were significant, but the potential discovery of a new life form, and the chance to save it, was too great to ignore. Prep the shuttle, she ordered. Full hazard protocols. Dr. Elara, you're with me. Lieutenant Okoye, you have the bridge. As the shuttle descended through Xerxes Leah's turbulent atmosphere, Leah felt the familiar mix of anticipation and dread that accompanied every new discovery. The planet's surface came into view, a barren wasteland of jagged rocks and steaming acidic pools. The shuttle's sensors guided them towards the source of the mysterious signal, and as they drew closer, Leah's breath caught in her throat. There, half buried in the toxic soil, lay a creature unlike anything she had ever seen. It was massive, easily the size of a small shuttle, with a body that seemed to blend organic and mechanical components. Its hide was a patchwork of scales, armor plating, and what appeared to be weaponized appendages. But what struck Leah most were its eyes, 4 of them, each the size of a dinner plate, glowing with a fading intelligence. My God, Dr. Elara whispered beside her. It's a chronoless behemoth. I thought they were just a myth. Leah had heard the stories, whispered in the darker corners of space stations and frontier outposts. The chronoless behemoths were said to be the ultimate biological weapons, created by a long-vanished alien race to be the perfect engines of destruction. But the war had ended decades ago, and the behemoths were supposed to have died with it. As they approached in their protective suits, the creature's eyes focused on them. Leah half expected it to lash out, to fulfill its purpose as a weapon even in its dying moments. But instead, she saw something that shook her to her core, recognition and a silent plea for help. It's sentient, she breathed, and it knows we're here to help. Dr. Elara was already scanning the behemoth with her instruments. Its life support systems are failing. The cybernetic components that allow it to survive in hostile environments are shutting down. If we don't do something soon, it'll die. Leah made her decision in an instant. Prep it for transport. We're taking it back to the Horizon. The next hours were a blur of frantic activity. The shuttle's cargo bay had to be reconfigured to accommodate the massive creature. Emergency life support systems were jury-rigged to keep it stable during the ascent. All the while, Leah couldn't shake the feeling that those intelligent eyes were watching her, assessing her every move. As they docked with the Horizon, Lee knew that the real challenges were only beginning. She had brought an alien war machine, a living weapon, aboard her ship. The risks were enormous, but so too was the potential for understanding, for bridging the gap between species that had once been locked in mortal combat. "Captain," Zara's voice crackled over the comm as Lee stepped onto the bridge. "We're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. They're not happy about our new passenger." Leah straightened her uniform, steeling herself for the confrontation to come. She had made her choice, guided by the principles of compassion and scientific curiosity that had driven humanity to the stars. Now she would have to defend that choice, not just to her superiors, but to a galaxy still healing from the scars of war. As she prepared to address Earth Command, Leah glanced back at the cargo bay where the Cronus behemoth lay. In saving this creature, she had set in motion events that would reshape the future of human-alien relations. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but also filled with the promise of discovery and understanding. For in that moment, when their eyes had met on the surface of Xi, Leah had seen not just an alien being, but a kindred spirit, another explorer, another seeker of truth, cast adrift in the vast ocean of stars. And she knew, with a certainty that defied explanation, that their fates were now intertwined in ways she could scarcely imagine. The Horizon hummed around her, its systems a comforting symphony of human ingenuity. But now, deep in its hold, beat the heart of something far older, far stranger, a being that would challenge everything they thought they knew about life in the universe. Leah took a deep breath and opened the channel to Earth Command. "This is Captain Leah Chen of the EEV Horizon," she began, her voice steady and resolute. "I'm reporting a first contact situation with a previously unknown species, and I'm requesting immediate assistance in saving its life." As the words left her lips, Leah felt the weight of history settling on her shoulders. She had taken the first step on a journey that would redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. The abandoned war dog they had rescued would become a bridge between worlds, a testament to the power of compassion in the face of the unknown. And as the stars streaked by outside the Horizon's viewports, Leah Chen allowed herself a small smile. For in this moment, on this ship, with this impossible creature in their care, humanity was about to show the galaxy exactly what it was made of. The adventure had only just begun, forging an unlikely alliance. The Horizon pulsed with an energy that bordered on chaos. News of the alien war beast's presence had spread through the ship like wildfire, igniting a powder keg of emotions among the crew. Captain Leah Chen stood in the makeshift med bay, her eyes fixed on the massive form of the Cronus behemoth as it lay suspended in a shimmering containment field. Dr. Naya Elara worked feverishly at a console nearby, her fingers dancing across holographic displays as she struggled to decipher the creature's biology. "It's like nothing we've ever seen, Captain," she muttered, more to herself than to Leah. "The integration of organic and mechanical systems it's beyond anything in our databases." Leah nodded, her mind racing. Earth Command had been less than pleased with her decision to bring the behemoth aboard, but they had reluctantly agreed to let her proceed, for now. The potential scientific and strategic value of the creature was too great to ignore. Suddenly, the behemoth's eyes snapped open, all four of them focusing intently on Leah. She felt a pressure building in her mind, a presence that was alien and yet somehow familiar. "Captain," Dr. Elara exclaimed, pointing at her displays. "The neural activity is off the charts. I think it's trying to." Before she could finish, a voice echoed through Leah's thoughts, deep and resonant, like the rumble of tectonic plates shifting. "You saved me. Why?" Leah gasped, staggering back a step. The voice wasn't audible, it was inside her head. She looked at Dr. Elara, who showed no sign of having heard anything. "It's telepathic," she breathed. Gathering her courage, Leah focused her thoughts, trying to project them towards the behemoth. We couldn't leave you to die. It's not our way." A wave of confusion and curiosity washed over her. "Not your way, but you are prey. We were created to hunt you." "We're not prey," Lee responded firmly. "We're explorers, scientists. We seek knowledge and understanding, not conflict." The behemoth's massive form shifted slightly, its armored plates rippling in a way that seemed almost contemplative. Knowledge, understanding? These concepts were not part of my programming, and yet, suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Zara Okoye's voice crackled over the intercom. "Captain, to the bridge immediately. We've got company." Leah sprinted to the bridge, her heart pounding. As she burst through the doors, she saw it. A massive warship had just dropped out of hyperspace, its sleek, predatory form dwarfing the horizon. "It's a syndicate vessel," Zara reported, her voice tight. "They're hailing us." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that sent shivers down Leah's spine. It was vaguely humanoid, but its skin was a mosaic of shifting colors and textures, as if it couldn't decide on a single form. Its eyes were black voids, devoid of any warmth or empathy. "I am Overseer XRX of the Galactic Syndicate," the being intoned, its voice a discordant melody. "You have something that belongs to us. Return the Cronus Behemoth immediately, or be destroyed." Leah's mind raced. The Galactic Syndicate was a shadowy organization, rumored to be behind much of the illegal weapons trade in the galaxy. If they were after the Behemoth, it could only mean trouble. "Overseer XRX," Lee replied, fighting to keep her voice steady. "The being you refer to is under our protection. It's sentient, and we—" "Sentient," Garax interrupted, its form rippling with what might have been amusement. "It is a weapon, nothing more. Your compassion is misplaced, human. You have 1 hour to comply, or we will take it by force." The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. "Options," Lee demanded, looking at her crew. Zara spoke up first. "Our weapons are no match for that warship, Captain, and even if we could outrun them, they'd just track us down eventually." "What about the Behemoth?" Lee asked. "Could it help us fight?" Dr. Ilara, who had joined them on the bridge, shook her head. "Its systems are still too unstable. Engaging in combat could kill it." Leah closed her eyes, centering herself. Then, to everyone's surprise, she smiled. "Who said anything about fighting?" "Lieutenant Okoye, set a course for the Cygnus Nebula. Dr. Ilara, I need you to prep the Behemoth for emergency transport. And someone get me a quantum entanglement communicator. I need to make a call." As the crew scrambled to follow her orders, Lee felt that alien presence in her mind once more. "You plan to challenge the Syndicate?" The Behemoth's thoughts resonated with a mix of curiosity and concern. "No," Lee replied silently. "I plan to outsmart them, and I'm going to need your help to do it." For the first time, Lee felt something new from the Behemoth, a flicker of admiration and perhaps even hope. "I will assist you, Leah Chen, but you must know, the Syndicate is not the only danger we face. There are secrets within me, terrible secrets that could shake the foundations of the galaxy." "Then we'll face them together," Lee promised. "Human and Behemoth, united against the darkness. What do you say?" The Behemoth's response was immediate and resolute. "I stand with you, Captain. Let us rewrite the stars." As the horizon raced towards the swirling gases of the Cygnus Nebula, with the Syndicate warship in hot pursuit, Lee felt a surge of determination. She had made an unlikely ally in a being created to be humanity's destruction. Now they would have to trust each other if they hoped to survive the trials ahead. The next few hours would determine not just their fate, but potentially the fate of the entire galaxy. And as Leah Chen prepared to make the riskiest gambit of her career, she couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. This was why she had joined the Earth Exploration Fleet, to push the boundaries of the possible, to forge connections across the stars, and to prove that humanity's greatest strength lay not in its weapons, but in its capacity for compassion, ingenuity, and hope. The Cygnus Nebula loomed before them, a vast cosmic storm of swirling blue and purple gases. Lee's plan was audacious, possibly suicidal, but it was their only chance. As they plunged into the nebula's outer layers, the ship's systems began to fluctuate wildly. Shields at 60% and falling, Zara reported, her fingers flying over her console. The nebula's radiation is playing havoc with our systems. Good, Lee replied, owning her a surprised look from the crew. That means it's doing the same to them. Initiate Operation Phantom. At her command, a series of carefully prepared sensor buoys were launched from the horizon, each one programmed to mimic the ship's signature. As they scattered throughout the nebula, the pursuing Syndicate vessel's sensors would be overwhelmed, unable to distinguish the real horizon from the decoys. But the true key to Lee's plan lay deep within the horizon's hold. There, the Cronus behemoth had been carefully moved to a specially reinforced shuttle. If everything went according to plan, they would use the confusion to slip away, leaving the Syndicate chasing ghosts. As Lee made her way to the shuttle bay, she felt the behemoth's presence in her mind once more. Your strategy is unexpected, it communicated. The creators always said humans were predictable, easily manipulated. But you defy categorization. Leah allowed herself a small smile as she boarded the shuttle. That's kind of our specialty, she thought back. Now, let's show the Syndicate what happens when you underestimate humanity and its allies. As the shuttle detached from the horizon, cloaked by the swirling gases of the nebula, Lee felt a surge of hope. They had taken the first step towards an alliance that could reshape the galaxy. And though the path ahead was fraught with danger, she knew that together, they could face whatever challenges awaited them among the stars. The adventure was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. Quantum entanglement. The shuttle carrying Captain Leah Chen and the Cronus behemoth emerged from the Cygnus Nebula into a sea of stars that seemed to shimmer and dance before their eyes. Lee blinked, momentarily disoriented by the strange stellar phenomenon. "What is this?" she whispered, more to herself than to her alien companion. The behemoth's voice resonated in her mind, tinged with awe and a hint of fear. The nexus of probability. A region of space where quantum fluctuations manifest on a macro scale. We should not be here, Leah Chen. This place, it defies the laws of physics as we understand them. Leah's scientific curiosity warred with her instinct for caution. "Can you elaborate? What exactly are we seeing?" "Every decision, every possibility, they all exist here simultaneously," the behemoth explained. "Past, present, future, they blur together in this cosmic maelstrom." As if to illustrate the point, Leah saw ghostly images flicker across the view screen, alternate versions of herself, some in uniform, others in civilian clothes. In one, she stood proudly on the bridge of a massive warship. In another, she knelt in a lush alien garden, communing with beings of pure energy. "Incredible," Lee breathed. "But how did we end up here?" "Our course was set for the Epsilon outpost." The behemoth's response was grave. "I fear our escape from the Syndicate may have had unintended consequences. The nebula's radiation, combined with my own unique energy signature, it might have triggered a quantum leap. We are adrift in the multiverse, Leah Chen." Before Leah could process this staggering information, alarms blared throughout the shuttle. A massive shape loomed before them, a ship unlike anything Leah had ever seen. It seemed to be constructed of pure darkness, absorbing the light of nearby stars. "Unidentified vessel," a voice boomed, speaking in perfect English despite its otherworldly timbre. "You have breached the barriers between realities. Prepare to be boarded by the Chronos Guard." Leah's mind raced. Chronos Guard? Who are they? "Protectors of the temporal continuum," the behemoth replied, its mental voice tight with tension. "They ensure that cross-dimensional travel does not disrupt the fabric of reality itself. But Leah, they should not exist in our universe. Their presence here indicates a far greater threat than we realized." The dark ship extended a tendril of shadow, enveloping their shuttle in its inky embrace. Leah felt a moment of vertigo, and suddenly they were standing in a vast chamber that seemed to stretch infinitely in all directions. Surrounding them were beings of pure light, their forms constantly shifting and changing. One of the beings stepped forward, its radiance dimming slightly to allow Leah and the behemoth to look upon it. "I am Temporal Arbiter 6, it announced. "Your presence here has caused a cascading quantum anomaly that threatens the stability of multiple realities. Explain yourselves." Leah straightened her back, drawing on every ounce of diplomatic training she possessed. "I am Captain Leah Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We came here by accident while escaping from a hostile force known as the Galactic Syndicate. We mean no harm and will gladly return to our own reality if you can assist us." The Arbiter's form flickered, and Leah caught glimpses of its past and future selves overlapping with its present form. "It is not so simple, Leah Chen. Your companion," it gestured to the behemoth, "is a nexus of temporal energy. Its very existence violates the laws of causality." The behemoth's voice thundered in Leah's mind, loud enough that she suspected the Chronos Guard could hear it too. "I was created to be a weapon, yes, but I have chosen a different path. I will not be unmade simply because my existence is inconvenient to your cosmic ledger." Arbiter Zix's light pulsed with what might have been surprise. "You speak of choice? Of free will? Impossible. You are a construct, a tool of war." Leah stepped forward, placing a hand on the behemoth's metallic hide. "With all due respect, Arbiter, you're wrong. I've seen inside this being's mind. It's as sentient and deserving of life as any of us. And if your precious cosmic laws can't account for that, then maybe it's time those laws were rewritten." A murmur ran through the assembled Chronos Guard. Arbiter Zix's form flickered more rapidly, as if it was processing countless possible futures in an instant. "You propose a dangerous path, Leah Chen," the Arbiter said finally. "But perhaps it is one worth exploring. We have long sought a way to bridge the gap between organic and synthetic life, to create beings that could navigate the quantum realm without causing disruptions. Your behemoth may be the key we have been searching for." The chamber around them began to shift and warp, reality itself seeming to bend to the will of the Chronos Guard. Lee felt a surge of vertigo, and suddenly they were back in their shuttle, floating in normal space. But something was different. The stars seemed brighter somehow, more alive. "We have repositioned you in your home reality," Arbiter Zix's voice echoed in their minds. "But know this, you now carry a fraction of the quantum realm within you. Use it wisely, for you may be the last hope against the coming storm." "What storm?" Lee asked, but the presence of the Chronos Guard was already fading. As the last echoes of the quantum realm dissipated, Lee turned to the behemoth. "Are you all right? What do they mean about you carrying the quantum realm?" The behemoth's form shimmered slightly, and Lee gasped as she saw faint traces of possible futures rippling across its armored hide. "I am changed," it said slowly. "I can see probabilities, potential futures branching out before us. And Leah, in every future where hope survives, you and I stand together." A proximity alert chimed, and Lee's attention snapped back to the present. The familiar form of the Horizon appeared on their view screen, battered but intact. "Captain," Lieutenant Okoe's voice crackled over the comm. "Thank the stars you're alive. We've been searching for you for weeks." "Weeks?" Leah said, startled. "But we were only gone for a few hours." As they docked with the Horizon, Leah's mind whirled with the implications of their quantum adventure. They had escaped the Syndicate, for now, but at what cost? They carried within them the power to reshape reality itself, a power that could save the galaxy or tear it apart. The crew of the Horizon gathered in the briefing room, their faces a mix of relief and confusion as Lee recounted their impossible journey. When she finished, silence reigned for a long moment. Finally, Dr. Ilara spoke up, her voice filled with awe and a touch of fear. "Captain, do you realize what this means? With the behemoth's new quantum abilities, we could revolutionize space travel, rewrite the laws of physics, maybe even prevent wars before they start." Leah nodded slowly, the weight of their newfound responsibility settling on her shoulders. "We could, but should we? Playing with the fabric of reality, it's dangerous. We need to be careful to understand what we're dealing with before we start changing things. The behemoth's voice resonated in her mind, and Lee relayed its words to the crew. The quantum realm has shown us infinite possibilities, but it has also revealed a terrible truth. The Syndicate is merely a symptom of a greater disease infecting our reality, a cosmic cancer that seeks to unravel the very threads of existence. Leah took a deep breath, looking at each member of her crew in turn. We set out to explore the unknown, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. Now we find ourselves at the center of a struggle for the fate of not just our universe, but all possible universes. The question is, are we ready for that responsibility? The crew exchanged glances, a mix of determination and trepidation on their faces. But one by one, they nodded. They were explorers, scientists, dreamers. If anyone could face this challenge, it was them. "All right then," Leah said, a fierce pride swelling in her chest. "Let's save reality. All of them." Lieutenant Okoye set a course for the galactic core. "If we're going to unravel this cosmic mystery, we might as well start at the center." As the Horizon's engines hummed to life, Leah felt the behemoth's presence in her mind, a comforting warmth that spoke of trust and shared purpose. Together, they would face whatever the multiverse had in store for them, human and behemoth, organic and synthetic, past and future. All boundaries were blurring, and in that blurring lay the hope for a new kind of existence, one where the power of choice and the strength of unity could overcome even the most cosmic of threats. The adventure had taken an unexpected turn, but Leah Chen and her unlikely alien ally were ready to meet it head-on. For in the vast tapestry of quantum possibilities, they had found something truly rare and precious, a friendship that transcended the very laws of reality itself. The singularity cipher. The EEV Horizon streaked through the cosmos, its quantum-infused engines leaving a trail of probability waves in its wake. Captain Leah Chen stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the swirling maelstrom of the galactic core that loomed before them. The behemoth's presence was a constant hum in her mind, its thoughts tinged with a mixture of anticipation and dread. "We're approaching the event horizon of the supermassive black hole at the galaxy's center," Lieutenant Zara Okoye reported, her voice tight with concentration. "Gravitational forces are off the charts. Our standard shields won't hold." Leah nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Then it's time to test our new defenses. Behemoth, if you would." The alien war beast's consciousness surged forward, and suddenly the view screen exploded with a dazzling array of quantum possibilities. Leah saw the horizon splintered and torn apart by the black hole's gravity in 1,000 different ways, but she also saw it surviving, slipping through the cracks between realities to emerge unscathed. "Fascinating," Dr. Naya Elara breathed, her eyes wide as she took in the quantum display. "It's creating a probability field around the ship, allowing us to exist in a superposition of states, simultaneously destroyed and not destroyed by the black hole." Schrodinger's starship, Lee mused. "All right, let's do this. Take us in, Lieutenant Okoye. Straight into the heart of darkness." As the horizon plunged towards the event horizon, reality itself seemed to warp and twist around them. The crew felt a moment of utter disorientation as they existed in multiple states at once, torn apart by gravitational forces, yet somehow still whole and alive. And then, in a burst of blinding light, they were through. The bridge fell silent as the crew took in the impossible sight before them. They were floating in a vast spherical chamber that seemed to exist outside of normal spacetime. The walls, if they could be called that, were a shifting tapestry of mathematical equations and swirling data streams. "Where are we?" Lee whispered, her voice filled with awe. The behemoth's reply was tinged with reverence. "The singularity cipher, a construct of pure information created by an ancient race to solve the ultimate question of existence itself." Before Leah could ask for clarification, a figure materialized before them. It was humanoid in shape, but its body was composed entirely of flowing symbols and equations. "Welcome, travelers," the figure said, its voice a harmonious blend of every language in the galaxy. "I am the curator of the Singularity Cipher. You have come seeking answers to the cosmic threat that plagues your reality. But are you prepared for the truth?" Leah stepped forward, her chin raised in determination. "We've come too far to turn back now. Whatever the truth is, we'll face it together." The curator nodded, and suddenly the chamber around them transformed. They were floating in a vast cosmic web, each strand representing a different timeline or reality. "Behold," the curator intoned, "the omniversal lattice. Every possible reality, every choice ever made or unmade, all interconnected in a grand cosmic dance. But look closer." As they watched, dark tendrils began to spread through the lattice, corrupting and unraveling the strands of reality. "The entity," the behemoth growled, its mental voice filled with a mixture of fear and rage. "The cosmic cancer we sensed. It's consuming entire realities." The curator's form flickered with what might have been sadness. Indeed, the entity is a being from outside the omniversal lattice, a cosmic parasite that feeds on the potential energy of entire universes. It has already devoured countless realities, and now it has set its sights on your home dimension. Leah's mind reeled at the scale of the threat they faced. How can we possibly stop something like that? We're just one ship, one crew. "Ah, but you are so much more," the curator replied. Its form shifted, and suddenly Lee saw herself and the behemoth reflected in its symbolic body. "You are the bridge, the impossible union of organic and synthetic, of choice and programming. Together, you have the potential to rewrite the very code of reality itself." The chamber shimmered, and a complex sequence of symbols appeared before them. "This is the Singularity Cipher," the curator explained, "the key to unlocking the fundamental programming of the universe. With it, you could theoretically rewrite the laws of physics, create or destroy entire realities. But be warned, such power comes at a great cost. The entity will stop at nothing to possess it." Leah looked at her crew, seeing the weight of this revelation in their eyes. Then she turned to the behemoth, feeling its unwavering support and trust flowing through their mental link. "We'll do it," Leah said firmly. "Whatever it takes. We'll find a way to stop the entity and save the omniverse." The curator's form pulsed with approval. "Then let the encoding begin. But be swift. Even now, the entity approaches. It has sensed the activation of the cipher and will stop at nothing to claim it." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the chamber. The cosmic web around them trembled as a vast, shadowy mass began to seep at its edges. "It's here," the behemoth growled. "The entity comes." Leah felt a moment of pure terror as she gazed upon the cosmic horror that threatened to unmake all of existence. But then she felt the warmth of her crew's determination, the unwavering support of the behemoth, and her own indomitable human spirit rising to meet the challenge. "All right, team," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "Let's save reality. Dr. Elara, start decoding that cipher. Lieutenant Okoye, see if you can use our quantum engines to stabilize its pocket of spacetime. Behemoth, you and I are going to have a little chat with this entity." As the crew sprang into action, Leah and the behemoth stepped forward to face the encroaching darkness. They stood side by side, human and alien, organic and synthetic, united in their determination to protect all of existence. The entity's voice boomed through the chamber, a sound of pure entropy and chaos. "Insignificant motes, you cannot hope to stand against the inevitable. All will be consumed. All will be unmade." Leah felt the behemoth's consciousness intertwine with her own, their combined will forming a barrier against the entity's assault. "We are not alone," they spoke as one, their voice resonating with the power of countless possibilities. "We stand for every life, every choice, every dream in every reality. And we say to you, entity, no more. Your reign of destruction ends here." As the entity surged forward, Lee and the behemoth raised their hands in unison. The Singularity Cipher flowed through them, its intricate patterns merging with their quantum-infused bodies. In that moment, they were more than just a human and a war beast. They were the embodiment of choice itself, the living bridge between all realities. The chamber erupted in a blinding flash of light as the fate of the Omniverse hung in the balance. The crew of the Horizon, the Curator, and every sentient being across countless realities held their breath, waiting to see if this unlikely pair of heroes could accomplish the impossible. For in that moment, at the heart of the Singularity cipher, humanity's compassion and the behemoth's strength had combined to form something entirely new, a force that could reshape the very fabric of existence itself. The battle for reality had begun, and the outcome would determine the fate of not just one universe, but of all possible universes for all of time. The metaversal reboot. The Singularity cipher pulsed with unimaginable power as Captain Leah Chen and the Behemoth, now fused into a singular consciousness, faced off against the entity. The cosmic horror loomed before them, a roiling mass of anti-reality that threatened to consume everything in its path. Foolish creatures, the entity boomed, its voice resonating across multiple dimensions. You cannot hope to comprehend my true nature, let alone defy me. But Leah/Behemoth stood firm, their combined form shimmering with quantum possibilities. We don't need to comprehend you, they replied in unison. We only need to outthink you. With a thought, they activated the Singularity cipher, and reality itself began to warp around them. The chamber transformed into a dizzying fractal landscape, each facet showing a different potential future. Dr. Elara, her mind expanded by the cipher's influence, called out, "Captain, Behemoth, I've discovered something incredible. The entity isn't just consuming realities, it's absorbing them. Every universe it devours becomes a part of its consciousness." This revelation hit Leah/Behemoth like a thunderbolt. They weren't just fighting a cosmic horror. They were facing a living multiverse, twisted and corrupted by its own hunger for expansion. Suddenly, Lieutenant Okoi's voice cut through the chaos. "I stabilized our quantum bubble, but I don't know how long it'll hold. Whatever you're going to do it fast." Leah/Behemoth nodded, a plan forming in their merged mind. They turned to the Curator, whose symbolic form was starting to fray at the edges as the entity's influence grew. "Curator," they said, "we need to access the root code of the Omniverse. Can it be done?" The Curator's form flickered uncertainly. "It is possible, but the risks are immeasurable. You'd be tampering with the very foundations of existence." "We don't have a choice," Leah/Behemoth replied. "It's time to initiate the metaversal reboot." As the entities surged forward, Leah/Behemoth plunged their consciousness deep into the Singularity cipher. They found themselves in a realm of pure information, surrounded by streams of cosmic code that defined the very nature of reality. With their enhanced perception, they began to unravel the complex algorithms that governed the multiverse. But as they worked, they realized a terrible truth. To defeat the entity, they would have to fundamentally alter the nature of existence itself. "Wait," Dr. Elara's voice echoed in their mind. "If you change the base code, you'll erase everything, including yourselves." Leah/Behemoth paused, the weight of this revelation heavy upon them. Then, with grim determination, they made their choice. "Sometimes," they said, "the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one." With that, they began to rewrite the cosmic code. As they worked, they infused the new reality with the best aspects of both human and behemoth: compassion, curiosity, strength, and adaptability. They created a universe where the boundaries between organic and synthetic life were blurred, where consciousness itself was the primary force of creation. The entity howled in rage and fear as it felt its very being begin to unravel. "You cannot do this. I am eternal. I am infinite." "No," Leah/Behemoth replied calmly. "You are just another part of the code, and now you're being rewritten." With a final burst of will, Leah/Behemoth activated the metaversal reboot. A wave of blinding light exploded outward from the singularity cipher, washing over the entity, the Horizon's crew, and every reality in the omniversal lattice. For a moment that stretched into eternity, there was nothing. No light, no dark, no thought, no form, just pure, limitless potential. And then, with a bang that echoed across countless dimensions, the new multiverse was born. On the bridge of a starship called Horizon, Captain Leah Chen blinked awake, her mind fuzzy with strange, half-remembered dreams. Beside her stood a being that looked like a perfect fusion of human and machine, the Behemoth, but not as she remembered it. Did we do it?" she asked, her voice hoarse. The Behemoth nodded, its eyes glowing with a warm light. "We did, Leah. Welcome to Universe 2.0. As the crew of the Horizon gathered their wits, they began to notice subtle changes. Their bodies seemed to shimmer with latent quantum energy. Thoughts could become reality with just a bit of concentration. And the stars outside, they sang with a harmony that spoke of infinite possibilities. The curator materialized before them, its form now a perfect blend of organic and digital. Congratulations, architects of the new dawn. You have done what we thought impossible. You've created a reality immune to entropy, where creation and consciousness are one and the same. Dr. Ilara, her eyes wide with wonder, turned to Leah. "Captain, do you realize what this means? We've essentially turned the entire multiverse into a living, thinking entity. Every star, every planet, every atom is now part of a vast cosmic intelligence." Leah nodded slowly, the memories of their ordeal starting to come back to her. And the entity, what happened to it? The curator's form rippled with something like amusement. It has been repurposed. The hunger that once drove it to consume realities has been transformed into a desire to create and nurture them. It is now the engine of cosmic evolution, forever expanding the boundaries of what's possible. As the implications of their actions sank in, Leah felt a mix of awe and trepidation. They had saved reality, yes, but they had also changed it irrevocably. The adventures that lay ahead would be unlike anything they could have imagined in their old universe. "So," Lieutenant Okoye said, a hint of excitement in her voice, "what do we do now? Where do we go from here?" Leah exchanged a look with the Behemoth, feeling the deep bond that still connected them even in their separate forms. She smiled, a sense of limitless potential filling her heart. "Now," she said, her eyes twinkling with the light of newborn stars, "we explore, we learn, we grow. This new multiverse is alive with consciousness, and we're going to make first contact with every incredible new form of life it has to offer." As the Horizon's engines hummed to life, powered by the very thoughts of its crew, Leah felt a surge of joy and anticipation. They had faced the ultimate threat and emerged victorious, not through violence or destruction, but through creativity, compassion, and the indomitable human spirit of exploration. The Behemoth's voice resonated in her mind, filled with warmth and camaraderie. "Together, we have become the seeds of a new cosmic civilization. Our journey has only just begun." Leah nodded, her heart swelling with emotion. "Indeed it has, old friend. Indeed it has." And with that, the Horizon leaped into quantum space, its wake leaving trails of newborn realities blossoming in the vast, living tapestry of Universe 2.0. The era of divisions between human and alien, organic and synthetic, matter and energy was over. A new age of cosmic consciousness had dawned, with humanity and its unlikely allies at the forefront of the greatest adventure in the history of existence. The stars sang their welcome, and the crew of the Horizon sang back, their voices joining the grand symphony of a reborn multiverse. A universe where every thought was a new beginning, and every choice opened the door to infinite possibilities. The story of Captain Leah Chen, the Behemoth, and the intrepid crew of the Horizon had become legend, whispered across the cosmic winds of countless realities. But for them, it was only the first chapter in an endless saga of discovery, growth, and the eternal dance of consciousness itself.